Hello, I'm Carrie Stein, sitting in for Bonnier Bay. Welcome to TTC Extra. March is Women's History Month, and we thought it would be a good time to check in with the board chair of the National Women's History Museum, Susan Whiting. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much Carrie, for inviting me today. This is a special month. Well, actually, we think every day should be Women's History Day and month, but March is particularly important in our work.
What I'd like to know is, what is the latest going on with the Women's History Museum? Has any work been done? Have you found a site for the actual physical place?
We are not only a digital presence, but we are this month really starting a partnership to be the museum in residency at the Martin Luther King Library in Washington, D.C., which is a spectacular building. And just Mies van der Rohe building that's just been renovated. It's the central library for the District of Columbia. It has all kinds of wonderful spaces for performance and learning and makers and everything else. So what we're going to be doing is bringing programming into the library.
Now, why, if indeed there is a history museum online and the world is sort of going more online, why a building? What would be important about that?
It's a great question. It's funny because I've been the board chair for 8 years. When it came in, the entire focus was, we love what we do digitally, but we need a very big bricks and mortar building. Well, I think for many of us, the world changed a lot. But we were already digital. We were already being accessed in all 50 states and around the world. And it became clearer and clearer and clearer to us that the educational work we do needs to be accessible everywhere. And we still, however, everybody told us they wanted a place to gather, to discuss issues, to do presentations, to have performances, to have inspiration in person. And you can marry those two things together. So that led us to what's the best way and most effective way really to do that. And we decided that partnering with someone else who had the bricks and mortar and letting our supporters, we're privately funded, letting our supporters and all of that, their support go to the programming. And
when you say programming, when you have a physical location, right? When you have a physical location, will you be doing different sorts of presentations? Will there be more things that are interactive and lively in the location? Have you thought about what you want in the museum in person to be versus the museum online?
Yes, a great question. Yes, they will. We'll do complementary things. So usually in any given year we have a theme. And this year, actually, the big theme of our symposiums that would normally be before COVID in person, but in a single location, and then during COVID everywhere virtually, we will have the theme of talking about the women, the 5 women who will be on this year's quarters. That's a whole nother separate project. And we'll have, for example, on June 10th in the library, we will have an evening with a premiere of a film on Wilma Mankiller, who is on one of the quarters that the U.S. Mint is sending out this year. And her family will be there. There'll be a presentation. Gail Hurd, who was an honoree of our museum, who is the producer, will be there. And we'll have a whole evening about that. So it ties together, an in-person opportunity to see a film, to listen to a story and learn something about a really, really important woman in our history. And then we can take all of that and spread it around the country, even if you weren't able to attend. One of my favorite things is we put a toolkit, I'll call it, together for any organization, actually for any individual. It's free. It's a calendar for the month of March. And you just go in and any given day, there's a suggestion for a biography that you might not know about, or a film, or actually even a television program that's on somewhere else, or a historical program we've put together, and you just click through and learn something new. And we've had very, very big acceptance for many large companies and organizations who wanted programming. And then we've done that for every other month. But there's just a lot of ways we can move really quickly and do fun, kind of interesting things. For during COVID, we produced an amazing journal program where we wanted to make sure that women and girls' stories were being told during COVID, and in particular, frontline caregivers. And so we opened up a journal project where you could write, you could produce music, you could do art, and you could submit this to us, and we would catalog and digitize it. And then we would provide a website, which we have, a digital website. This was funded by Pivotal Ventures, which is Melinda Gates, one of Melinda Gates's foundations. And there will be a book, but you should go see the microsite with the work, the artwork, the writing, the diary journal entries, the music, just the ways that people responded in real time. And so that's gone on for almost 2 years at this point. We started that, I think, in April of 20.
Well, thank you. That's wonderful. I really would like to see that. Thanks for watching TTC Extra, and thank you for joining us, Susan Whiting. And whether you agree or think to the contrary, please join us next time.